Great. Okay, we'll move on to our second speaker for today, which is Paul Hillier. Over to you, Paul.
Yeah, hi. My audio is on, isn't it? Yep. You can hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Great. Yeah, I've always been interested in the 360 imagery, and I've been trying to push it here for a while, but there's never really been a need for it. But what I saw with the restrictions on site visits for the lockdown period, and also for providing online imagery for online students who can't make the site visit, this really is the ideal platform. I've gone for I've got a cheaper camera, like a $500–600 camera. It's really simple to use, really easy to set up. So I can just create really simple 360 images for people to move around, and actually it's different to having a video on it. If you have a video on there, you're only seeing what the person sees and you can't look behind. I'll have some demos in a minute. So you can actually decide to see what you want to see and zoom in on it. But you've got to be aware at the moment with my camera, it's not very high quality. So if you do zoom in, it is a bit fuzzy. But I have got a new camera ordered, which is going to be here in a couple of weeks, hopefully. And the quality will improve considerably. The only issue we have is how to actually host the images. With 360s, apparently Panopto can host 360 videos, but I haven't managed to get any on there yet. It won't host 360 still images. And the other options is YouTube and Facebook. They'll do it, but they're not really a great platform to have for people to interact with. And so I've steered away from the videos because they're limited with who can actually show them and what you can actually see. But what I have done is one of the pieces of software I've got will actually allow you to save your tours or videos or still images to your own server. But unfortunately, Victoria University doesn't have a forward-facing server that I can download them to. They are looking at it, but they've been looking at it for a while. So the other option is to host it externally. And I've found a site or a company that quite recently, it's $140 a year, I think it is. I can host unlimited amount of still images and tours, but not videos. It's really good, and I'll show you in a minute. So, read my notes. So basically, as I said, there's three types. There's stills, videos, and tours. I won't be doing anything on the videos because I haven't done any, but I'll just share my screen now, hopefully. Oh, it's gone. I might have to just go and have a little look for it. Oh, no, here we go. So this one here is just basically a, can you guys see that? Is that displaying? Yep, so this is just a straight still. This is one I did for Nat the other day of the first one I did actually of Ian Atfield's memorial up on the hill. So the advantage with the video, if you walk through there, once you've walked through, you couldn't actually see anything, whereas with this, you can zoom around, look at it, you can look up, you can look down, you can zoom in and out. As I said, the quality of this camera isn't very good for zooming in, but hopefully my new one will be better. And this is just really the simplest, easy way. This takes me a couple of hours of that to produce. And then I just download it to the hosting site and I just send the link. I've tried that. I dropped the link into Blackboard and it works perfectly. The other option is, and this is another one I did the other day up at Whareroa. I haven't really done any internal building shots, but I thought these might be better for landscaping type classes. And I've got a, it's not done with a drone, it's done with a 15-foot carbon fiber selfie stick. So it gives you that extra perspective. You can go up higher, so you can actually see more of the landscape and the layout, not just the actual what's in front of you. And so this is sort of thing you can have it self-rotating if you like. And the advantage with using it in Zoom is if you wanted to use it in a class, you can record it and you can actually annotate things on it and point things out or type things to students. And if that's recorded, that will be recorded as your Zoom recording. Okay, just clear that. Oh, here we go, clear. The other option is you can actually do like, whoops, oh, what's happened here? Oh, I've got to get a mouse, that's right. So the other option, you can add information to it. This is just another one at the, actually one of your ex-students was in that car there. I can't remember his name. Big, tall, blonde guy that was here for a tutor for quite a while. Lives up Ramity Beach. But anyway, so you can actually link it. This is a tour now, not just a still image. So by clicking on that, it'll take you to a website or a video or whatever. Then you can just flick through that and look at it. And you can even, oh, this is the one. If you really wanted to, you can even do audio. A Kiwi caravan that is. This unlikely conservation icon has been rescued from Kapiti Island. It didn't handle the Māori pronunciation of Kapiti very well. But I've worked out what I can do. I'll have to go back in and change Kapiti to Kapiti, and that might get it right then. So,
Paul, in order to share sound, you have to go into the view options and share the sound, because what we're hearing is the sort of picked up through your microphone.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't quite sure on that. So go to back into sound.
Yeah, share sound. It's on the green bar. Having done this to my own class a couple of times.
Whereabouts?
Under view options, I think one of the options that you can see but I can't is share computer sound.
Oh, here we go.
Taking research into the interaction of Waka and little spotted kiwi. And so, the Kiwi Caravan was named, and the name has stuck. Sponsored by the National Provident Fund, a government pension scheme, the caravan was painted salmon pink. It was essential accommodation for researchers.
On a link to the to the page as well.
Was researching the bird's ecology and also the interaction between kiwi and
the other option is you can do more like a tour. This is a quick tour I did of the ground floor here, or the first floor here at Te Aro. It's done really quickly. There's no post-production or anything, so some of the images aren't very good, but you can then just click through and it'll take you to the image, or you can click hot links in there to go to the room. You can go to the atrium, or you can go down here and actually click on the room. This is what the lecture theatre looks like now. And you can click out of it. You can go to the rooms down the bottom. It displays the thumbnails down the bottom, or you can just go back to the plan. You click on the plan. So for that one of Whareroa, I could actually import a plan of Whareroa and create hotspots to various points around the actual park as well, with text or audio or links to anything else as well. The e-learning side of it, the software that I was using, 3D Vista, were promoting their e-learning, but it's still really buggy. It's really quite simple, and it is, I don't know if it'll really suit us. So I found a couple of examples, and this is one that was prepared for coronavirus procedures when entering the building, and you had to go around and tick each of the, you had to tick all 7 points on your screen before you're allowed to proceed to the next room. Yeah, and you can also do things like, oops, try and get it, it might not play. Yeah, it's a bit, oh, here we go. And it also has, this is just a real basic option. They also have questions as well. So you can do like only multi-choice. You can do multi-choice questions. Your little screen will pop up. I don't know if I can find one on this one. I'll have a look. That is very basic. I don't really know it'll be suited to what. No. 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 Oh, they haven't got it on this one. But what you can do, you can actually have like multiple questions, and you can have it so they have to complete them all before they go. They can score, and apparently, theoretically, it can interface with Blackboard to actually record the scores and record all the scores and stuff, but it is still, it's out of beta, but it is still really flaky. The other one I mentioned was the guided tours. This is quite a slick promo of these. And this has been very flaky. So you control the session and go to rooms and stuff. But the thing is that if you're running a Zoom meeting, you can really do this anyway. You could record it, so you could actually run a Zoom meeting, share your screen, so you have a recording the person there and stuff, and it'd be far more flexible than this, and you could actually then save the recording.
Oh, the music is completely overpowering your voice.
Oh, really? Is that better? Is that better? Oh, I'll get out of that one. Technology. Technology. And then if you've got unlimited resources and really good camera gear and everything, you can go to something that's more like a high-end real estate tour. I mean, this is shot on a digital single lens reflex, and there's maybe, I don't know, 200-300 individual photographs in that, all with links to various items. Oops, my sharing screen's getting in the road. There we go. And yes, this one's unlimited, but I mean that's huge. That's when Mark Arell saw the ones I posted, he decided it'd be a really good idea to do something like this for the whole of the building as a tour for our web page. It would be great. And then another one here, just one more example. Once again, you know, this is really quite a sophisticated one where they've spent a lot of time, a lot of money, and you can see the clarity is just so much better. And that's basically shot with a digital SLR, multiple panoramas, you know, a lot of resources, but a huge increase in quality and actual you know, presentation. But my original plan was more not to get that sophisticated, was just to be able to provide like simple tours and single sort of images of sites for people to look at when they were talking about, and for students to look at online at a later time. So really, it's something just similar to this, or this.
A Kiwi caravan, that is. This unlikely conservation icon has been rescued from Kapitai Island Nature Reserve and refurbished.
And that's about it, really. So, I mean, yeah, as I said, all I was looking at just producing simple single images or tours for site visits for people, and maybe later on, if they give me some money, I can buy a better panorama head and look at doing the really nice, sophisticated tours.
Great, thank you very much, Paul. We've got a few questions.
Yeah.
Wallace, would you like to ask your question in person? Or should I read it out?
Oh, here we go. I've just seen the chats here now.
Should I read it? So,
I've just read it. Yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps just for the video. So, yeah, it would be nice to have 360 images of ongoing a construction site, not just for the one day, but for, say, maybe 1 week. Is that possible?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, sure.
And Lisa, did you want to make a comment about the open days?
Yeah, we could do that. Yeah, but that would be quite a big project to, you know, create like campus-wide stuff, and also depending on what quality they want. I mean, my new camera arrives in a couple of weeks, which should be fine, but if they want really high quality like those previous ones I showed, that you'd really need to do those with a digital SLR and take a lot more planning and a lot more work.
Paul, any update on the video one? Because you know, getting videos, into Blackboard. 360 video into Blackboard?
Yeah, I tried it, and it wouldn't actually display. But Fabricio might be able to help. He was telling me before in the corridor that he's shot 360s for some of his classes. Have you had any luck putting videos into Fabricio?
I take it as a no.
No, it doesn't go. I tried last year and I had to put on Facebook.
Oh, okay.
But on Facebook works fine. I mean, we are not encouraged to ask our students to go to Facebook, but yeah, it works.
What about YouTube?
YouTube would work too.
Yeah, I tend to find that some of those tend to compress the hell out of them, and
a lot.
The quality goes down really low.
Yeah.
See if we can
the software, the good software I've got, the 3D Vista, that can do videos, but the problem with that is hosting them. You can host them on their site, but it's €90 a year, and it's quite a small data limit. And you can save them out as an executable file, but they're really big. You know, they're 500 meg for 6-image panorama. The ideal is to have a Victoria University server to put them on, a forward-facing server.
That would be ideal.
Yeah, and you know, quite a few people are interested in that. And also Earth Science is apparently looking at doing it, but I haven't been able to get hold of anybody up there to see how they're doing it.
I have an example
surely it can't
here.
be that hard, yeah.
Mm.
Can I share mine?
Yes, sure.
Go for it.
So this is near my house. So I did the black and white and then changed to color. It's not too bad. It's on Facebook.
You live by the sea, Fabricio.
I used to, but I now have to walk like 2 minutes.
2 minutes?
Yeah, the landlord asked for the house, so I ended up not. Well, it's not loading, but it normally works fine, but I think it's because of the sharing. Yeah, well, I don't know.
Can I ask about the sound? Do you have to use that person's weird computer voice?
Oh, no, you can put any MP3 in, so you could actually just do a voiceover yourself.
Right.
Yeah, it's just that I thought my voice might have been weirder than the computer voice. So.
Yeah, it's not working now. I don't know if it's because of the sharing. But yeah, compress a lot on either Facebook or YouTube, reduce quite dramatically. So these new cameras, mine is 2 years old, is a 5K, so it is okay for video. But yeah, when you put in one of those platforms, there is not like this one that Paul showed us, it reduced. I think it's okay for pedagogical things, but for a more professional thing, would not do it.
You've got the GoPro, haven't you, Fabricio?
I have a GoPro Fusion, yes.
And what one have you got, Paul?
That was shot on the Insta what is it? Insta 360 1X.
Yeah.
And I were hanging out for the Insta 360 1R, but I'm glad I didn't get it because there's major issues with it. So I've now gone for the Ryko Theta Z. It's quite a bit more expensive, but it's got a much bigger chip, much bigger. It hasn't got all the bells and whistles of the other ones, but it's got a huge chip, really good resolution and range, tonal range as well.
Can you use? Sorry.
I thought I'd have a better chance of getting that one than asking for the $9,000 Pro Insta one.
Can you use the GoPro software with your Insta 360 to stitch the images?
I'm not sure.
Because I have found I had an old Insta 360 before, and the stitch from the software wasn't as good as the one from GoPro. This GoPro software is pretty good.
Yeah, a lot of people take the Insta 360 and take it into Lightroom, and apparently there's a plugin in Lightroom where they stitch it in Lightroom.
There is a plugin. It's good too, but what I do, my workflow is different. I stitch on GoPro and I send to Lightroom for retouching and all those things.
Okay.
It's about time we stuck a 360 on a drone.
Right.
Yeah, I thought.
Yeah.
I got so excited. I bumped into Paul today. I said, Paul, is this image in the Atrium from because it was very high? I said, how did you do that? And then he said, no, I had a 3 meters is stick, and I said, bummer.
It's a
Because of that,
3-meter carbon selfie stick. It's really good.
I'm totally pro it.
Hello,
Let's
Paul.
do it.
Hi,
Let's do it.
Wallace.
Can I ask? I just wanted to share my screen to just show you what I had in mind for the.
With the Insta360, you can actually do like I think what you're wanting to do. They call it an active panorama, and they use it for showing sunsets. And also, someone also used it for a renovation for a kitchen, and they actually had the kitchen when it was as it was, and then being ripped out and then being rebuilt and afterwards, and it just slowly fades through the panoramas to give you like a time lapse of the actual construction. Oh, is this just that app? But
yeah, the Holo Builder one.
Right.
Well, I found that if I don't have pictures in sequence, it's just for one day. It's not so useful for the students.
So what's this one, Wallace?
This Holo Builder, so you can move around the site.
Ah.
From one room to another. You can also link your scenes. So that's a link. You can move all around.
So does it host your images or?
Yes, it hosts images to their web interface. So it would be useful for me if I had for different days, so they could compare the activities for site progress monitoring.
They've got a few project management problems on that site by the look of it.
I tried to do one in my house during the lockdown. So we need the students to be able to do these kinds of markups. You can take measurements. You can also leave notes for your project team members as well. Yeah, so that's what I wanted for my classes.
So is that very expensive, that software, or to host? Or?
For this, I got the student license. So the educational license is still running. Or if I could get the pictures, then I could host it on this site.
So you host it on their site. Is there a limit to how many you can host, and does it cost per year, or?
For now, I think they have some credit. I go to my profile. Okay, so I have unlimited square feet, so
okay.
Seems is good.
Great.
Okay.
So what's the answer, Paul? What's the answer going forward, other than your camera? A good camera arrives in a few weeks.
Well, yeah, I'm shooting stuff at the moment. I've got some stuff to do for Maybrick at a couple of buildings down the campus, and then I'll just create a tour with Cooler, which is the program I use, and just send her the link. Then she'll just copy that link into Blackboard, and they can access it from there.
Oh.
Be great to build up a repository of all these different spaces
right
around the place.
And if you really want to, with the other software, I've got the 3D Vista, you can actually also load it direct to Google Street View as well.
Oh, really?
So you can do like internal spaces off Google Street View.
Mm.
But that's the software we have issues with because we can't host it ourselves.
Right.
We have to use the hosting, and it's €90 a year, and then that's sort of I think if you stop hosting, similar to like Matterport, like once you stop paying for it, that's it. Whereas with Cooler, it stays on there forever. So if you take a break for a year, then go back, your images will still be there. And the other advantage, like compared to Matterport, which the quality is just so much better than us, way ahead. But the problem with that is that you give them the raw images, as far as I understand, and they create it, then store it on their server, and that's it. You can't get to those afterwards. Whereas with these, I've still got all the raw images, so I've still got everything. So if there's at any time we didn't go with Cooler, I'd still have everything actually on my server here that I can access.
But yeah, you're right, Paul. That's the problem with the Matterport. It's very good, high quality stuff, but you lose total control of it. You don't have it, and you can't. There's no, because it's proprietary. You can't actually get it to go into anything else.
Oh, and the other thing, with 3D Vista, the company I use, I think they're based in Brazil or somewhere. They're a South American company, and they're really good. I started using them about 12 years ago. I think I found a really old software license that I had 12 years ago. So I emailed them and said, "Oh, can I get an update on this now? And I'm entitled to a free update." And they said, "No, not really." But they're very proactive and they're very responsive to questions. And quite a few people have been asking to be able to do dolls houses. And they're currently working on that now, on creating 3D depth maps and doll houses from 360 imagery. So they are working on it, so that's in the pipeline. So you'll be able to do something similar to Matterport, do you fly through dolls houses. But yeah, it's not there yet, so it's just... Right, but yeah, their e-learning's a bit of a fizzer, really. Yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to say their e-learning's a bit of a fizzer, really. It's quite simple and it's very complex to build, and it's yeah, I don't know if there'll be any value for here really. And the same with the live tours. It's really flaky. A lot of people complaining to work on one browser and one not on another, and they it's just not working. And the fact you can do exactly the same with Zoom, it's not, well, not exactly the same. You can do similar with Zoom. I don't really see it as an issue. So great.